All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the time where you are joining us from today. You're welcome. You're welcome to the Dream Team webinar, where no question is too silly or too important than other. Every question is important. Our webinar, as you heard our welcome team, Mr. Affe said, it starts and ends when the last question is answered. That's our commitment, that's our motto, that's our style. We want to make sure everybody that comes to this platform goes satisfied. So, not wasting your time, I'm going to call on Brother King, Dr. Derek, which would start us with our signature tune. You ask, why do we do this every day? Please look at him. We're gifted to have somebody in our team that's that gifted, that put a lot of information, what is going, what is new in ONPASSIVE in our signature tune. I want to thank our Sister Lerato, for giving us that music and that voice. So without wasting your time, because we have a packed agenda item, we will go call on to Brother Derek to start us with our signature tune.
We ONPASSIVE. ONPASSIVE, the future of internet.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Win it. We're in it to win it. ONPASSIVE, the future of the internet. Stand clear of the closing door, please. Did you see all the statistics in that song? Did you see the new achievement? Did you look at it? Thank you, Dr. Derek. Wow. New office in Egypt, the live show yesterday. We are so blessed. Without wasting your time, I'm going to pass it over to our team moderator, the ladies that make this meeting run smoothly without you guys knowing. There's a whole team. They make sure they get your question, whether it's in the chat, wherever you write your question, they will dig it out. You will see them as they come up. I don't want to waste our time to call all of them. I don't want to forget anybody, and then I'll be in trouble. So without wasting your time, I'm going to pass it over to Queen Debbie.
Thank you so much, Sister Dr. Patience. Thank you so much, and welcome each and everyone who has already signed on. Dr. Bill, thank you for sharing the grandchildren with us. We now understand what happens on your Sundays. And we saw they added not just the two of them, but also the little black dog that your older daughter, granddaughter picked up and shared with us. Now we understand your Sunday afternoons, how they are. So when you dedicate to spend with us, we know why. All right, I don't want to rant too much. We heard the voice, that beautiful, lovely voice that our sister, Dr. Patience, introduced. She's here with us, and she's going to grace us with the word of the day. My sister Lerato Shadare Prosperity. Over to you, Mommy.
Hello, you gorgeous you. Where did you come from today? Oh my God, you gorgeous one, you. Anyway, I just want to greet everybody here, all the leaders, Dr. Derek, Sister Mani, everybody here, Brother Alfred, everybody here. Sister Yvonne, everybody. I don't want to mention, I can't mention you all by your names, but you know yourselves, and my heart is with you guys. So we're just connected, right? So thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk. I'm still a little bit, I feel like I have a hangover from my weekend. My weekend was very rough. You know, I had different, I was traveling a lot, 7 hours there, 7 hours there, performing here, jumping there, you know, it was, yeah, it was a little bit a lot. So my thoughts would be just, you know, forgive me if my thoughts are a little bit scattered today. So I feel like I have a hangover, yeah. So, I mean, last week we spoke about prosperity. We are all excited to see what our company is doing. We're excited to see the growth. We're excited to see, you know, the delivery of what our CEO said is going to happen. I mean, he spoke it and it's coming into existence, and it's manifesting. And it started also from his thoughts, processes, what he was talking to us about. Last week when he was talking, he said that this thing didn't just happen yesterday of Egypt. It's a process. Everything was a process, and a process that took a long time. And because they determined what they wanted, they went after it. And it was not an easy journey. Everything that we're going for is not an easy journey, because you have to understand that we're changing the narrative. We're changing how things are done. And there's going to be a lot of opposition. It's not something that you will do and everybody will sit and watch you do it. You know, it's with everything in life. When you're doing something great and you're changing the narrative, you'll always face a certain kind of opposition. But when you know that you're doing something right, you know that you have the host of heaven behind you, you know, everything good about this, you know, where we are now will support your mission, because you're doing something that is good and for the benefit of all. So for me, it was very intriguing to see that everything that his mindset and everything that he spoke, right, it's coming into existence, and how it's coming into existence and how it's manifesting. It's intriguing to me, because now I'm able to connect to every webinar and how he was speaking, I'm able to connect his speech to the results that we see now. And that also affirms and confirms that our words are very powerful, because you cannot speak what you're not. So meaning that everything that he spoke came from the inside out, right? It's something that is inside of him. It's something that he meditates upon. It's something that he sits on, and he identifies himself with greatness. And you can see that greatness manifesting in everything that he does. And he attracts greatness. Why? Because he is that greatness, right? So he attracts the people that he's working with are the people that have the same mindset. They bring the same energy. So it just comes together to this wonderful thing that we see now, but it was not by chance. I want you to know that it was not by chance. All right. So when we talk about prosperity mindset, I said to you last week that wealth and prosperity is our soul currency. It's our soul currency. Wealth and prosperity is different from just acquiring money, right? So money is also very spiritual. People don't understand that money is energy and it's very spiritual, right? But the mindset of prosperity and wealth is your soul currency. There are many people who have money. I said last week that there are many people who have money, but they're still poor. You see it in their poor decision making. You see that they're not contributing anything positive or anything adding to society or to humanity. Instead, they're taking from humanity. Instead, they're just bringing pain. They want to be the only ones to be worshipped and served. They don't want to share anything, and that's poverty. For me, that is poverty, right? So because they're not bringing anything positive, their developments or anything that they create, they're not creating to add to humanity, but they want to subtract, because they want us to be their slaves. Basically, we want to be in that perpetual slavery so they can keep getting money, right? Keep getting rich. I'm not talking about wealth now and prosperity, right? They can keep getting money and keep you as a slave, right? So you see it that poor people make poor decisions that are not adding anything in terms of value to society. So we're talking now, we are here together, we're saying that we want to make a difference, guys. We want to change our mindset, because the mission that we're on Passive is on a mission to do something great and to bring a shift, to bring another paradigm. And we want to do this and carry the whole humanity with us and say, listen, it is possible to have all this money and still, share it. It's possible to have all these things and share. There is enough for everybody, guys. There is enough. Our universe, our planet has enough for everybody. We came into abundance. We are not deprived. Everything is abundant. So there's no reason why it should be kept for only specific people and then we are not sharing. It doesn't make sense. All right. And I said, if we know our self-worth, right? Because you will make money according to the same level as your self-worth. Self-worth takes self-knowledge, meaning that you have to go inside and find out who you are and whom you want to be, right? You have to find out who you are or whom you want to be. If you want to be wealth, or if you want to manifest wealth, you have to be that wealth. You have to be, meaning that your thoughts, your meditations, everything that you sit on will have to support whom you want to be, because you're more than the body and flesh. You're a spiritual being, and everything, as much as the physical world, we see everything, the spiritual world is much more real and bigger than the physical world. I just want to tell you that today. So everything is spiritual, right? So now we speak to, like I said, wealth and prosperity is the currency of your soul. Now we speak into the spirit, the things that are not seen, to say we speak those things into existence by whom we are. We attract those things by whom we are and whom we want to become. So if you want to, like I said, that you have to know your self-worth in order to the money or the wealth that you want to bring into your life comes into you knowing your identity and what you identify with. So all those things then will come in and you will see them manifest in your life. So coming from your speech, your thoughts, your meditations, everything will correlate together and will create the being that you want to be and the energy that you want to bring into manifestation and into this plane, right? So self-identity is very important. So So when you're sitting with yourself, you have to make conscious decisions to say, okay, whom do I choose today? Do I choose to be love? Do I choose to be, like I said, me, I'm Lerato Shadari Prosperity. All my thoughts, when I wake up, they support prosperity in my soul, in my spirit, in my thoughts, in how I contribute in my family's life, into society. I want to bring prosperity. Like I told Sister Debbie right now, when I look at her, I look at beauty. I think she's so beautiful. All of you here, all the souls here, I only see that. I only see that so that I can call it into somebody else, so that they can realize that they are that worthiness, that wealth, everything, they are that. And then it can manifest, right? So you have to know yourself in order to identify what you're worthy of. That has to do with prosperity and also wealth. There's a time that Dr. Derek said that there are many people who won the lottery, but because they didn't know who they are and they didn't decide whom they want to be, that money just got squandered because they didn't identify themselves with prosperity. They didn't understand the concept of prosperity. And so they lost the money, right? So in order for you to maintain or in order for you to maintain prosperity and to maintain that atmosphere and that energy, you have to know yourself. To say know thyself, then you will keep the flow of everything good into your life by self-knowledge. And it takes decision. You have to be intentional about whom you want to be. So we are in wealth, guys. We are in wealth because we have all of you here. All of us are sharpening one another. We have Dr. Bill, we have Mr. Jeffrey. We have so many people here that are adding into our lives. This is where we are right now, guys. I don't want us to take it for granted. Dr. Derek, Sister Debbie, all of you, Sister Yvonne, we are in so many, we have so many minds here and so many beautiful people here that are edifying our lives, that are bringing so much wealth in our lives. So we cannot take it for granted. And as we walk now towards the manifestation of our dreams, as we now walk into the tangible, that money that we want in our lives, first of all, I don't want us to chase money, but I just want us to chase purpose, because we're here to serve a higher purpose. So as much as that money is going to come to add to what we want to do in life, we have to find out whom we are so that we can bring that change and bring that positivity and bring something different into this plane and make a real difference. So please, my homework for everybody today is like, what is our purpose, guys? Let's find out how we're going to take this space. As when the money comes, and when everything comes, then the apple comes, how are we going to apply ourselves? Whom are we choosing to be, right? So we can attract positivity, we can bring even more, reel in more wealth and everything beautiful, and add beauty into this world, into each other's lives. So I'm very excited because I know that we have winners here and prosperous people here. So thank you so much. I hope my thoughts were not all over. Like I said, I'm all over the place. I'm really exhausted, but I'm happy to be here. I'll do anything to be here every Sunday. So I'm really happy that I'm here and I can just contribute my 2 cents into, everybody. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much, my lovely sister. I have to come to your closet and borrow those earrings. Thank you. But they've been worn by a beautiful one.
Yeah,
so
those
I just
earrings
noted
have
something.
There was paddling. They were doing something I couldn't tell.
All right. Well, you forgot something. We love you. We love you too, dearly. I just wanted to comment on, to say hands up congratulations to Brand Ambassador Emmanuel Bassa. They've been trying since they joined the webinar to find a quiet place to sit down and watch and listen. That is dedication of the ONPASSIVE spirit. They have one device. I don't know which country they're signing in from, but they went around in circles. I was just watching them go around and they found a quiet place and they're now living on the wall watching. That's the spirit of ONPASSIVE. It doesn't matter how, you always make an effort. Yes, you always make an effort to listen to the message. And this is very important because our sister Lorato Prosperity talked about prosperity, gratitude, and wealth. And to be part of any of those things, you have to participate. And here they are, our brothers, finding a means to participate, to hear Dr. Bill talk to us about the 7 marketing strategies. This is very important, people. Dr. Bill, everywhere he goes, his messages are things that, regardless of who you are, he breaks it down in detail. So let's pay attention to the message that he has for us about the circle of influences on the marketing strategies. Without further ado, Dr. Bill, we thank you for always finding time to be with us, and especially today for getting the grandchildren who are also brand ambassadors be part of this, because someday they will be the ones running the show on behalf of everybody else. Welcome. Over to you, Dr. Bill.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Lorato, for those increasingly important words. You're not just a singer, an orator, you're a motivator. So thank you for that. I enjoy having my grandkids visit periodically now. They did move out. They don't live here at my house. They were here for 1.5 years, and having their own house is a blessing, because when they come back, it's more of a visit than it is a takeover. As you can tell, they're pretty wild. And I have to tell you a funny story. The poodle, the black dog, went to the vet the other day for a haircut, grooming. And what we got back was a very different looking dog. And I took a picture of it and sent it to my grandchildren. And they said, "You picked up the wrong dog," because it sheared all of its hair off. It went for the summer cut, and his hair was about 1/4 inch long. It used to be 4 inches long. So, you know, a poodle that sheared looks like a skinned rabbit. So it's fun having grandkids. Now, this talk I'm going to give will be 7 Mountain Strategy. And I think it's important for us to start talking about, maybe we should look at something you heard in The Sound of Music, and it was a song called Climb Every Mountain. Climb Every Mountain. Sound of Music was a movie about freedom, about liberty, and about overcoming oppression. And the Trapp family was running from the Nazis in Austria. And what we learned from that movie was that there's always hope, and there's always somebody you can look to for help. And it was a marvelous movie. But Climb Every Mountain kind of sets us up properly to study the 7 Mountain Strategy. I learned about the 7 Mountain Strategy, not that I created this concept, but that I tailored the concept to business and marketing. I originally learned about it from my pastor, Johnny Enlow, who was the author of a book called The 7 Mountain Strategy. And it was based on how to approach getting the message out across the world. And you have to look at everyone in the world as part of a system. And he kind of devised the idea that the system is divided into 7 circles of influence, 7 mountains, if you will. And so that's kind of the take that we go. And if you look at it, it's a movement that is sweeping the world. ONPASSIVE is the movement right now that we're talking about, sweeping the world. We are the correction of the corruption. We're all about personal freedom and liberty from our jobs, from our drudgery, from the things that always held us back, so that we can do more, be more, and live in that abundant life and have the prosperity that we want. So with that, let me open my screen and start a screen share and see if we can show the PowerPoint here. The 7 Mountain Strategy for business growth. Now, you can take this concept and apply it to your person, to a brand, to a product. You can apply it to the entire ONPASSIVE movement. So I would encourage you to take notes and write down some things, do some screenshots. There'll be probably easily a recording made of this, so you can just sit back and relax if you don't want to take notes. The thing about it is if you look at the marketing cycle, for you to grow your influence around your community, it always starts locally. And then you expand out from local. We're talking about 7 different areas, centers of influence that you, your company, ONPASSIVE and whole, or you individually can expand your work in to make ONPASSIVE famous. When I say make them famous, make them a brand item that everybody uses in their home would be the fame that we're talking about. Like Kleenex, like Coca-Cola, like Netflix. These are brands. ONPASSIVE will be a brand equal to any of those or better because we have much more to offer. So let's start with the description of how many of the 7 mountains, what their names are, and kind of a definition for each one. First, we'll start with the government. You need to be involved. That's the key there. Involved with your local government, work with others like you to better the community through government action. Take, participate, be a part to set the rules, set the tone locally. If you don't take part, you're going to leave it to other people to set your rules for you, and you may not like those rules. And then it goes up to the state level, the national level. And if you don't like what you're living under, the government you're living under, maybe you need to be involved at the local level and change it. Number 2, education. Become involved and serve your local educators and school system. They are influential in your community. You could be a part. The school boards, the teachers union, the PTA, Parent-Teacher Association. Local boards make policies in education. You can change things. You can improve things. Number 3 is the media. It's the mountain of belief. They help craft the image and voice of the practice of your business by proactively investing and guiding your PR, your public relations, and your marketing. The media really is what people see, and that means that's what they come to believe. And if they see the truth, they'll see truth. If they view falsehood long enough, they'll believe the falsehoods. You know how important that is in this day and age. Number 4 is the economy. And this is where we really meet the Main Street, where we go and look at the businesses, the storefronts, the online commerces. It's the mountain of opportunity to create growth and income. You apply the principles of the other mountains, and you will excel in the new economy also. The more interesting of all is probably the celebration mountain. This center of influence includes sports, entertainment like movies and TV and radio, podcast. So everything that celebration arts utilizes the mountain of celebration to influence us, and you can really move people when you're part of the celebration mountain. And if your goal is a movement, then celebration is a big part of it. Family, the mountain of family is a mountain of provision. They provide for our family as they grow. You know, we go to work, we provide, we build our family units. And it's the strength of the family that gives you the strength of your local community and your country. A poor family structure leads to a poor system within your community and your government. You understand the importance of family, then you provide service for the whole family, not just part of the family. And finally, religion. The power of religion is that it's the source of power and personal growth. Love and serve your community to harness the power of this mountain. You have a base, a foundation, you have strong values that you build on, and religion is one that many businesses do not dare touch. Well, we and ONPASSIVE, we welcome all religious people, but we have a strong religious foundation. That's the key. We celebrate our commonness and we stay away from what divides us. So with that, let's look at questions and let's look at how to make a game plan. ONPASSIVE has the solution. So what game plan can we use? What game plan can we establish that will help promote our goal of having success in ONPASSIVE, success in our business that we have personally as part of ONPASSIVE, or even success in our business using ONPASSIVE tools to move forward with that business we already own? So we have to ask these questions as we get started. And this is the homework you would do if you're working to create strategy. And that's what I do, is I build strategies. When I coach dentists, when I coach other businesses, I build strategies for success. And I look at what they have, and then I say, if marketing is what they need, then what area do they need to be in first? What mountain is most important? If they got to capture a mountain, that means they've got to build their circle of influence in a certain region, area, segment of society, one of the 7 mountains. Second question I'll ask is, how can I leverage my resources? What do I have available as a business, and what can I do with them to make progress toward my goal? Thirdly, I ask, how can we both win? So if you can have a customer and a business both win, then there's no, what you say is, obstacle to overcome when you're both on the same side. If you're both winning, you're both wanting the same outcome. You then ask, what tools do I need? You got resources, you got tools. What does success look like is the next question. If you don't know where you're going, if you don't have goals, if you don't have milestones along the way, if you don't have a picture of your final result, well, you really won't get where you're going to want to go. So you have to have a roadmap, a guide plan. And finally, if you ask yourself, what do successful leaders do? You don't do all the work yourself. If you're a leader, you delegate, you add, you subtract, you build, you do things that leaders do. And so you have to study leadership and become what I call emotionally intelligent, EQ. If you have emotional intelligence, which is a whole nother lecture, then you know how to work with people better, then you know how to establish priorities better, and you know how to lead your company better. So you have to have a game plan in all these areas. Then you look at the questions you need to ask that are specific to how you're going to capture that mountain. How are you going to climb from where you are in the valley to the peak? Who's in charge in making decisions in this mountain, in this area of influence? Say the education system. Who's in charge of deciding who gets to speak in front of students, in front of the school board? Who's in charge? You have to really know who to go to if you're going to ask questions and get permission to do things within the system. Then you say, what do they need? What does the school board need? What does the principal of the school need? Maybe they need something you can provide. Maybe it's access to Academy, for instance. Maybe it's something that you don't know about, but you ask the question. You ask the question to the people that make the decisions. What is it most that you need? You do a fact-finding session. Then you say, how can I communicate my message to get the answer that I need? How can I communicate effectively to get through what we used to call the screen or the gatekeeper? If you can't get by the gatekeeper to get to the right person, then you can't sell anything. You can't move your movement forward because you get blocked by the lower level employee who won't let you talk to the CEO. What is the most cost-effective method? What can I do that's going to cost the least and give the most value? Well, we've got a pretty good arsenal of value and low cost with ONPASSIVE, so this is going to be one of our strengths. The next question is, how can I participate in the celebration? I don't know if many of you have thought about this, but celebration is a time of joy. You celebrate the end of successful run or campaign or sales event or school year. And so usually people are happy. They're spreading the joy. They're sharing this information widely to the public. And so if there's a celebration and you can participate in it, you get seen in a good light. We often talk about the halo effect. And that's a time where you hang around somebody who's famous, then you'll be seen as famous. The halo kind of rubs off on you. If you hang around people that are rich, other people will assume you're rich. If you hang around people that are smart, other people will assume you're smart. Now think about that. You're participating with somebody in doing life, that's rubbing off on you. That's called the halo effect. And when you're hanging around celebrities, you're doing something at a celebration, and maybe you're hanging around with the mayor, maybe you're hanging around with Shadari and she's singing up on stage and you're hanging around with her, then you become a celebrity like, she is. So participating in celebration is a really cool thing to do as we develop our game plan. And don't we already have a celebration team that's already gone to the highest levels at the Coca-Cola Theater all around Dubai and the rest of the Middle East? So we've already got a good start on that, don't we? And finally, can I share in the trust? It's that trust where people start to buy, and they buy without worrying anymore. If they trust you, they'll buy you once, twice, 3 times, and on and on. So you have to learn how to get trust established as you climb the mountain, as you interface with the people in this particular mountain. So these are questions you ask, and you can write down answers. You can put down a strategy for each question. And if you can go through this for every mountain, you're going to see that you're going to go places. How often do you do these things, and which order do you go in? It's up to you. You don't have to go through any particular order. Like, you don't have to do government first and then education and then media. You can start right with the economy and work with the business community. And you can work right with your clients. Maybe you're a family-friendly business, and so you start working with the family first. But at some point in time, you may be interfacing with all these different groups. And when you do, you climb that mountain. You go from the valley to the base camp, you go up the slope, and you finally reach the summit. As you want to go through these different mountains and increase your influence, if you increase influence, you're going to increase your level of acceptance. And if you increase your acceptance, you're going to increase your income if you're a business. So that's kind of the bottom line. Your capital may not be dollars and apples. Your capital may be just influence and power. It may be the ability to make policy. It may be the ability to get your song on the radio. These things are not all about dollars. It may be you need time on the radio for your song. You may need your book in a library or on the bookshelf. So just think about it in a way that fits what you need, what you want. So you have to ask yourself, what is the game plan? The game plan is to go from the valley to the top of the mountain. And so here's kind of a breakdown. You develop your strategies. Let's go back one. All right. Now that I've lost my place, I'm going to have to reset back to where it was. There we go. So you develop your strategies, you write them down, and then you establish a beachhead. That means that you get a spot on the mountain. You get a spot where you can launch from. And you capture a little ground where you're actually on that mountain, and people know you're there. People know who you are. We got a beachhead clearly when we bought a floor or two of the Burj Khalifa. That was a big beachhead. That's like taking half the mountain on the first bite. We gain trust. We grow. We put out more information about who we are. We take the metro and name it after ONPASSIVE. We achieve stature in Dubai. We become a leader. We start doing sports in Qatar. We dominate the mountain. We get to the top of the pyramids in Egypt. I mean, we're talking about huge, huge domination as things go forward, and you can see the progression that you have to achieve. Each mountain is a separate thing, and you gain as you go. So let's start with each mountain and talk a little bit about what it is about that mountain that you might want to think about and how it interplays with where we're going. We gain influence by supporting and working with campaigns and serving the needs and meet the needs of the government people. If there's a government system in your area, local, community, county, state, national, if there's something that you can do to serve in a campaign and know the politicians, this is going to be beneficial to you. Maybe it's even as high as the United Nations. We have a number of United Nations employees who work in ONPASSIVE. We've got a lot of government officials who work in ONPASSIVE who are part of us. And so you could talk to them and they will tell you that supporting the campaign, supporting the voters' needs is a number one item that people should start. You might work with actual employees because there's a lot of them. If you count the number of people that work for the government, county, city, state, and local, it's huge. And so you serve those people, then you get the ear of the people. It's increasingly important to conquer the mountain of government and not ignore it. And Ash has often talked about the government control, the red tape that they've got to go through, the regulations they've got to overcome objections to. He changed a lot of things about ONPASSIVE to meet and be in regulation with the governmental controls across over 200 countries. So Ash is well aware of it, and we should be aware of it. The mountain of education is the mountain of direction, I call it, because it points us in a direction from a young age to where we're going in life. And teachers and coaches have a lot to say with where we're going to end up. You know, our parents are supposed to take most of the responsibility to grow us and mature us up to be young men and women. But unfortunately, a lot of people delegate that and let the teachers do much of the work. And so it's important to be connected to the education system so that you get the result you want when you work with the teachers and not let them do what they want that's not good for your child. And so it's important to keep control and work with the teachers, work with the coaches so that you never run afoul of your goals for your children. And so it's important that we capture the mountain of education where the minds are formed, where the attitudes are established, and that they blend in with what we as parents believe. So, you know, you can either have a controlled environment or an independent environment in the education system. And so we want to remain independent of government control in education. In my mind, we want to benefit from government support, but we don't want government control. Centralized control tends to be more of a problem. As we go through and learn more about Academy, we're going to be able to maximize our independence from the system if we don't like the system. But if we like the system, we can make the system better, then we can support the system through education and government supported education. So there's a two-sided sword with education, and it's always good to be connected so you don't lose control. Let's talk about the media, the mountain of belief, what people hear, what they see, what they understand to be true comes from their exposure to what the media has to say. Unfortunately, the media is not always truthful. You know, it used to be said that Pravda was the ministry of untruth. Now, in our country, USA, we now say that our mainstream media is the ministry of untruth because we don't believe half of what they say. And it's unfortunate that many of the things that happen are not just in countries you thought were controlled by folks that are authoritarian. You know, it happens in every country, I think, that there's control. And so you cannot believe everything you hear. And that's why you need to have a real positive narrative coming out of your country, your state, but also your company. I think Ash has given us the proper perspective that the proper narrative is always to be one of positivity and not negativity, not blame, but of support. So we invest in the public relations and marketing to control the media coverage. We don't let the media coverage cover us negatively. We try to correct the misuse of media against us, and we try to be proactive in using the media. We don't want to be at the mercy of media doing explaining why we're this and that. We want to tell why we are this or that before that other message drowns out the good message. This is the way we grow. Thankfully, we have the old media department who puts out the message, and they go against the media bias of reporting the negative news. And we have an idea that we want to drive the narrative versus let other people drive our narrative. So old media is a very important part of our future. The mountain of opportunity called economy is where we will make our apples, we will make our bonuses, we'll make our commissions. We really want to have a prayerful attitude, a positive attitude, and focus on abundance rather than scarcity. I've always taught the difference in the worldview between scarcity and abundance is this. Scarcity means there's only a sum total of things in the earth that you can achieve or accomplish or collect. Say 100 apples. And once those 100 apples are taken up, nobody else can get any more apples. That's scarcity worldview. But in abundance thinking, which I believe in and Ash believes in, there's an unlimited number of apples. And as long as you want more apples, you just have to ask. So whatever you ask for, ask, seek, knock, it will be delivered unto you. So whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, he can achieve, said Napoleon Hill. And the mind can create abundance, and abundance comes from above. So we're all in agreement that there's many ways to look at abundance. It's not a basically closed loop system because that's the poverty mentality. What we have in ONPASSIVE is a system of unlimited wealth and opportunity for those who seek it. And that's the mindset that Ash has always put in terms of ONPASSIVE believers. We talked about something called the boomerang effect. And if you believe in that, that means you give first, then you receive. Whoever gives will receive tenfold for their efforts, their return on their investment, their seeds they plant. So the 7 mountain strategy can easily be seen in how you grow, why you do the work by the mountain of opportunity. Scaling the economic mountain is probably an apple tree growing right at the very top of that mountain, and we all want to see that apple. The family mountain is the mountain of provision we talked about, and that's where we start saying, yeah, let's leave a legacy for our children. Let's build a dynasty for our generation, for all those who come from our local area. Let's build a dynasty, which means that we're strong enough to resist all forces against us. We want to be flexible enough to serve all the families, not just the rich, not just the ones who are the founders who do well. Now, we want to have overflow to work through OBLESS. And OBLESS is our vehicle for giving and prospering those who are not as fortunate as us. We're looking to be capable of benefiting the entire family of man. That means the community and the nation that surrounds us. We want to make every poor country a prosperous country. We don't want to just set a few aside and say, those are the people that have. We want to have every country to be a country that has. So here we are, we're working to create a circle of influence that is built around the nuclear family, where husbands and mothers, fathers, children grow up together stronger as a unit than separated and divided. The fun and celebration art and the mountain of influence that you probably will enjoy being a part of the most is the one that involves the arts and sports and entertainment, fashion, putting a nice fancy dress on with nice earrings and some makeup, doing your hair up good. This is a fashion statement. And you can influence people. If you put a picture together that's prime, put it out on Instagram and get 1,000, 500,000 customer followers, you can get some pretty good followers with those things, right? And there's a lot of us who like sports. And so I'll watch football, baseball, basketball, soccer. And there's a lot of people who will follow somebody who's in those areas. And so think about it as you climb this mountain. Maybe you're not so talented as some of these people, but you can use the halo effect and get into being seen with the people that look good, are good at sports, who can play the piano well, who can sing very well, who can paint. If you hang around the people that can do these things, then you can have influence on that mountain. I remember making a lot of pictures with the stars who came into my office when I was working as a dentist, and I would hang a picture of me and that famous baseball player on the wall, or that football player. I would put that out on Facebook, post it in a post and talk about the football team, and people would follow that. People would say, Dr. Williams is hanging out with William Andrews, who was an all-pro with the Atlanta Falcons. And he's a patient of his. And so you gain some interest, you gain respect, or you gain notoriety if you hang around the nice people. Now, if you hang around the wrong people, you'll get just the opposite. So you better be careful who you hang out with. They do say that you're going to be, 5 years from now, you're going to be just like the people you hang out with and the books you've read, or in these cases, the videos you've watched. So you better be careful what videos you're watching if you don't want to be like those people in the videos. So one last example I'll give is the exit strategy for getting up this mountain and climbing this mountain. Say you don't have all the talents that these people have, but you want to hang around this group, get to know them, work with them. Well, you can use the backdoor approach. You can help them out. You can go in the back door and become a part of their life by helping them achieve something they need. Now, for me, I was able to be the team dentist for the Gwinnett Gladiators at the arena, which then gave me the opportunity to be the dentist for the arena, that had concerts and all kinds of things that came to the arena here in Atlanta. And so when the American Idol came through and was doing a live show here in Atlanta, and one of the front runners of the competition had a front tooth fall out, I had to go down and bring him to my office, put his front tooth back in before the Tonight Show. And when they had the guy come in and I fixed him up, he became somebody I knew, somebody I could relate to, keep up with him for a while. And, suddenly you're on the mountain of influence, able to, talk about the American Idol people that you treated. And that's just an example of how helping people in an industry can push you up the ladder to be part of that mountain. You're a support person. You're not the main speaker. You're not the main singer or the baseball player on third base, but you are part of the mountain, and it does lead to having influence. And that's what this is about, is gaining influence among people so that they know you and your product and your service. So influence comes from service to and involvement with the key opinion leaders of the mountain of celebration. KOLs pull a lot of leverage, and you want to increase your leverage by being around people that have leverage, the key opinion leaders of a community. Finally, the mountain of religion, mountain of power. Most of us are very based. We have a firm foundation. And so what you find among the group of us that are like that is there's a lot of loyalty and trust abounding among us for other people of the same faith or of great faith. You have support from others and for others when you hold these hopes and dreams, and we fulfill each other's dreams by helping each other. We have common beliefs, and love is the basic of all religions. And we want to promote that love conquers all, and that work, what we do every day, is actually a form of worship. The more that we work hard and do well, that is an act of worship that God wants us and has us doing as part of his worship, of our worship rather, of him. So we have institutions, we have missions that we go on, we get rewards, we give rewards to people. And part of the mountain of religion is to support those who are less fortunate. The widows and the orphans are specifically mentioned in the Bible, where we are charged to take care of them. And so it's part of the Oh Bless goal to take care of the poor, the widows, the orphans, the underprivileged. And on ONPASSIVE, we put this up front. You know, for many, the mountain of religion is the most ignored mountain of a business. Yet it's the most powerful of all because it provides all, since everything comes from above. And if that's the case, more businesses should be more spiritually grounded, I think. We carry the influence of God with us when we go, in our family, in our life, in our business. And if we do that, then we're going to be sharing in the blessing that's poured out on us. I had as a personal motto to bring God into the workplace because I didn't want to separate what I believed at home from what I believed at work. And a lot of people think that you're supposed to, but I felt like it was more important to follow that rule than what somebody else thought. So in summary, you create your game plan. You figure out what's most important. You figure out how you can leverage your resources. You figure out how can both of you win. The win-win is very powerful. Ash has a win-win philosophy where the customer wins with value, the founders win with many apples beyond normal, and the people that created this fantastic business, the technicians, the leaders, they have an outstanding package. We don't even know what it is, but Ash has definitely alluded to the fact that it's way better than most packages. So everything's good on all counts. Win, win, win. You ask what tools you need, you ask what success looks like, and you ask what do leaders do. That's the summary of the game plan. And remember, each mountain you ask the question, write down the notes. Who's in charge? What do you do to help them? What do they need? How can I get my message out to them? What is the most cost-effective method? Who makes the decisions? How can I participate in the celebration? How can I share in the trust? When I get the trust, I get the sale. I get longevity. I get things I need for progress. So we have social media opportunities in ONPASSIVE to deliver our messages in many ways, and many items can be shown to the public. The main thing is our value. We share our value. We have multiple AI products. We have continuity among all the products, which increases the leverage beyond anything any other company has. Nobody will have the leverage we have when we can say, we have everything you need under one umbrella, a one-stop shop for tools, and we have a solution here for anything that you need. That's going to be very powerful as we deliver these many, many products to the marketplace. So let's kind of sum up everything and kind of look at how you might take note of using some of these tools that come out in the next few weeks. First, Connect, you could do this. You could create your action plan to put together a podcast, a webinar, or a podnar on any topic of high interest, separate from, not just including, what is Connect. It could be on basket weaving. I put a post out yesterday on making a quilt out of old t-shirts, if you saw that on my Facebook page. And I also put it in several other places. I put it up in ONET, matter of fact. You put together this webinar on how to do something. And once you do that, you invite your friends, followers, and group members to attend. You invite. That's the secret sauce of ONPASSIVE, is the invitation to come and view whatever you put together. And we know why, right? Because anyone who signs up for whatever you're showing becomes a member or a user on your team. First person in to share something of a unique nature is going to be a winner. And so we want to be able to invite to something that's interesting to people. Using ONET, we talked about, it's free for everybody to use ONET. They can come on and establish an account. You have to have an account through OMail to put out any compelling content. I would say you can create a folder of content and have it ready to go and not just sit around waiting. If you've not been developing content for the last 4 or 5 years, 20 years, whatever number of years you've been in business, you can start putting content together right now and just start collecting what other people use. I've got banners that I've had for different purposes in dentistry that I collected. I've got my QR code that I made for getting into ONPASSIVE. That should be in your folder. You can take pictures from your webinars that you've done, your podnars you've done. And whenever you do something that's laudatory, a celebration, newsworthy, save a picture of it. Save the content, put it in a folder, establish a game plan, then share it on a consistent basis through what I call a marketing calendar. That's a separate lecture you could give all together about what is a marketing calendar and how do you do it. And maybe we'll do that one day soon. That marketing calendar concept means that you have fresh new content every day or every week or every month, depending on your scale that you want to go to. But you put out new material every day based on what's topical for that day. And, it may be on Halloween, you show pumpkins. On Thanksgiving, you show turkeys. But it could be on National Cherry Pie Day. It could be on National Ice Cream Week. It could be on National Watermelon Day. You've got those kind of things going on every single day, and there's calendars that show which one is on what day. And, the thing about marketing is whatever's top of mind is what people think about or look at most. So on St. Patty's Day, the day where everybody wears green, gets pinched if they're not wearing green, drink green beer, look at rainbows and leprechauns. On St. Patty's Day, if you put out a post that relates to a green leprechaun with a rainbow, somebody's going to look at that. Whereas if you put out a post on St. Patty's Day about, your widget that you want somebody to buy, they're not going to pay any attention to that. So whatever's topical on your mind draws attention to it, and they'll pay attention to what you're marketing. So you want to know what the item of the day is, because it's of personal interest to the people. Public looks for things that make sense. So invite others to the new social media, ONET. And finally, I'm going to finish up with this one, OBless. How do you use the OBless platform to kind of build your team? Not how you use OBless, but how do you use OBless to build your team? You share stories of your favorite mission trips and social causes and your nonprofits and your NGOs, your humanitarian causes, your innovation labs, any situation that has a peer group that you want to share with, whether it's your family, your church, your other social media buddies. You set up a story and you share. I've done this all throughout ONPASSIVE. I've shared my mission field work that I've enjoyed doing in Kenya and other countries around the world. And when I share these things, what do you see happen? The circle of influence grows. People get a feeling about what you're doing, and those who have a similar affection for that particular thing, I guess an affinity, then they would consider themselves part of your influence group or your friend group. And so you come up with a game plan of sharing what you believe in. And then you ask people to look at the OBless platform perhaps and see how it may benefit that cause. So this is an angle where you would say, I want your opinion. And when you ask people their opinion, they pay attention. They'll pay a lot less attention if you ask them to buy something from you, but they'll pay more attention if you ask for your opinion, because then you're a co-equal. You're not a person talking down to a customer, potential customer. You're talking across the table to a co-captain, you might say. So you ask for advice, you ask for suggestions, not to join ONPASSIVE, not to join OBless, or to donate money. For sure, you don't want to go in and say, OBless, how much money do you want to give? That's not the approach. The approach is getting people to know that what you're doing is just showing them a platform that you're looking for advice on how to best help organizations. And you might tell people, registration to look at it's free. You can arrange to, go through an OConnect meeting, and you can get all these people in and show them about OBless, about anything in ONPASSIVE, not just OBless. And you do a PowerPoint presentation about the project, a short one, not the long one, so that you basically give them a taste and make an impact in their mind that this is something that they might consider giving you some advice about. Again, the goal is not to sell, but to get registrations, to get people to look at the things that we're showing them, the ONET, the OBless, the OMail, the ONPASSIVE product line. You max out your registrations in the first few weeks any new product comes out. That marketing campaign for a new product is going to be valuable. Every one of us that has a brain will look at the first few weeks of a marketing campaign for a particular product and say, this is the golden hour for that campaign, because you're going to reach new minds. When you open a door with a new product, what you're doing is reaching new minds that are going to consider ONPASSIVE for the first time. Maybe they didn't like much about what you showed them last week, but if you show them something they do like, say there's a bean counter, an accountant who likes accounting, QuickBooks is his thing, and he didn't care too much about marketing. He didn't care too much about communication, but he loves numbers. Well, accounting is going to be right up his alley. And so the first week they open up accounting, you're going to want to talk to some accountants. You get the snowball rolling downhill, and as you know, it captures the momentum and it grows and it gets bigger and bigger without your work. The work is done by the marketing campaigns, which will provide plenty of push once you get it rolling by sharing the message into the right audience. the circle of influence you have means you have a bigger audience. It means you have more people to roll the ball to from the top of the mountain. Remember, it takes one person to start a snowball, but it's better to have 3 snowballs going down the mountain instead of just one. What does that sound like to you? Sounds like multiple sources of income, right? MSX technology is always going to be better than standalone strategy. If you just took one shot, a rifle shot, and roll that ball down the mountain, you might make a hit, you might not. But if you roll 3 or 4 balls or 20 balls down the mountain, some of those are going to get pretty big and hit some pretty good targets, right? And so Ash has given us 10, 20, 30, 50 products. We can't lose. Ash has given us dominance in so many different separate industries that we can't lose. So we have MS technology, not only in AI, in software, but we're going to have physical products. We're going to have things built that we don't even know yet. And so what I want to emphasize to you guys is that the multiple source of income strategy, it means you have multiple products, but you also have multiple centers of influence that you can push those products through and to. You can make an entire livelihood serving the government mountain, the education mountain, the media mountain, the economy mountain, or the celebration mountain, the family mountain, the religious or spiritual mountain. Any one of these is a billion-dollar business if you look at the amount of services that they use. And we can individually work in all of them. When I was a dentist working full-time, it took me about 8 or 10 years to go through and develop these 7 mountains. And I had a summit on every single one of these mountains. I had influence in our community on every single mountain. And that's because we, by choice, took and worked in each mountain as time went by. We didn't do it in 1 year. It took, like I say, nearly a decade to go through and become the #1 dentist in each of these mountains. And so you can do it as either an individual, you can do it as a platform on ONPASSIVE, you can do it as a product, you can do it as a whole company. And when you capture a mountain and you have no competition, then the view from 30,000 feet looks pretty good. And we're here to celebrate together and learn from each other. And I want to conclude by saying it's been a real pleasure being on the show again on the Dream Team. Always one of my favorite places to come and share. And I appreciate the attention and the time and the effort you guys put in. And I'll stay around for quite a while if I can, as long as grandkids don't pull me out of here. And you guys just let me know if you have questions. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bill. Dr. Patience was also running this, just for you to know, on YouTube, and there are quite some comments there, appreciating what you're doing for us, not just for ONPASSIVE, but for the Dream Team. You always come here whenever your schedule permits. And having the grandchildren and the dog today is an added bonus for us. So we know that you're busy, and we see the part of your life which a lot of people don't share in public. But you consider us a family, and that's why you were sharing with us. Oh, wow, those 7 principles. I'm just wondering, is there a possibility you can share, we can borrow your slides and give you the copyright? Because those slides, I was trying to make notes, and it got to the point where I just said, there's no way I'm going to be able to summarize any of them. Maybe the only thing is for us to beg, and we give you the copyright aspect of it. So just think about it. You don't have to answer right away. Thank you.
And Mama Debbie, too, for everybody on the Zoom meeting right now, it will be good for you to go play the recording, pause it when you want to, because, when we have the flight deck, we don't have the what do we say, the cover note that he speaks to.
Yeah, the
So it's under
explanation.
yes, the explanation, that's the right word. So under the live on the Zoom, on the sort of YouTube, which I've put the link on the chat, please go listen to it and pause it. Take your own notes. It is wow. Thank you, Dr. B. I don't even know what to say. I am just so excited. I'm like, you see, some of us did not succeed because we had zero tools, but having you guys come and share your experience, your material with us is priceless. I don't have any price to put on this topic today, but what a great topic. And you offered, and we're going to take you on it, that if there's another time you come and share how to, say I took a note that I forgot it. You come and share more, so we'll be waiting. I'll go and replay it so I can write it down and tell you what you said. So I'm looking forward to you to come and share how we can do all the podcasts, how we can do the little folders and all those things so we can get ourselves prepared. Thank you. Over to you, Queen Debbie.
Thank you so much, Sister Pat. And I know when Dr. Bill makes a promise, he keeps to it. He's very dependable. And we need more of you in the ONPASSIVE family. Maybe you have to start thinking of cloning yourself. All right, okay. Engineer Mike, please proceed. You have to unmute yourself, bro.
I've unmuted myself, Mama Devi.
Okay.
So I just got in here when Sister Lorato was rounding up, but I pick up everything that she brought. I'm just coming here, not like a right. It's just to tell people how ONPASSIVE is, how we do it the ONPASSIVE way. Sister Lorato, I don't know. We need to, Dr. Bill, you need to speak to Mr. Ash. Let Academy come. We need to be learning all of this, okay? Because just coming to a webinar like this and hearing it, it just goes, right? We need to enter into a classroom to really build out our mindset with Sister Lorato, with you, with Jeffrey Morlock, with all the queens that are here. They always say some things that normally me, as a normal person, I don't have it. And when I used to just sit, I think about ONPASSIVE, I have to play Sister Lorato's music for like 10 times a day. I play like, ask Dr. Patience, she knows, I play like every single time. The uplifting words that are there, okay? If you are not uplifted about this company, I don't know what you are, okay? Dr. Bill, you are the man. Since I met you, we've been friends since then. Every day that you come out is different. But there is something that you people don't ever know about Dr. Bill. He knows Africa more than us Africans, okay? He went for missions in Africa. When you listen to him when he speaks, I was there one of the days that he was doing a full presentation of the Kenya trip. Can you imagine? I was just crying. How can Dr. Bill know Africa more than myself? You know? So, Dr. Bill, we are here. Like I told you, remember, I told you the day of Canada Meet and Greet that all those trips, we have to go together. I will be in your back. If you don't like it, I'll fly, come be on your veranda so that you have to go with me. Trust me. And Sister Lorato, I don't know. It's not about, like Dr. Bill said, it's not only a musician. You're not only a motivational speaker. I don't even like to use that word. You are uplifting us, okay? That's what I will say. You're uplifting us with your words. They are so special. I mean, to see a professional of your type just mingle with us every Sunday. Dr. Bill says, if you mingle with the stars, you're a star. So I'm a star. I don't even care what I will say is what. I make myself a star right there. You are a celebrity. It's not a joke. Your brand and everything, when people go online to see it, you are a professional. And just spending time with you, with Dr. Bill, go and check about the first 100 doctors in the world and see procedures Dr. B has a procedure. That's something I don't know if we ever know. He has a surgical procedure of the teeth that not every other surgeon or every other dentist know how to do it. He discovered that. Okay. So thank you, Dr. Bill. Thank you, Lorato. Thank you all our beautiful sisters here. I just want to say a shout out before I forget. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you too, Engineer Mike. We also have brothers in the house, so we thank them for and you're the top of it. So I just want to make sure, because I see some of the faces, and you are so right about everything that you've said about Dr. Bill. I do recall being in that webinar when he talked about his Kenyan experience with the images. And I lived in Kenya for 7 years, and believe me, I did not experience that same, I did not have that same experience. Mine was totally different. And the fact that you can do it as a non-African successfully is mind-blowing with a flashlight in some of the days. I don't know. I do remember that so as if it was yesterday. This is to tell you that we are your followers. Whether we tell you that we listen to you or not, we are there. We are your followers. And we are there to make sure that when ONPASSIVE succeeds, we are on the side of the winners, including you and our dear sister Lorato Prosperity, whom I'm going to call if she has any questions for Dr. Bill before we move to the next segment of our webinar. Sis, over to you.
First of all, I need to gather myself together. I'm a mess right now. I was listening to, no, I'm a mess. Yeah, I can't say anything. I'm too emotional. So maybe I'll come in a little bit later, but Dr. Bill, I'm gonna have to talk to you personally, but yeah, sis, I can't talk now. I'm too emotional. Let me come back in later. Thank you.
All right, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. And we're working as a team, as you rightfully know. I'm seeing my sister in green. So we have yellow, green, and polka dot and something else, which I don't really care for. But fashion is the other way of marketing yourself. Dr. Bill did say so. That's why I have makeup today, right? So I'm not in the same colorful aspect as Sister Irene. Over to you, my dear sister. The microphone is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Sister Debbie, Dr. Bill. Oh my God. So I am with Engineer Mike. We are with you. We'll go wherever. So, you know, I'm a nurse, so I can do some things that you are doing. So that was awesome. You know, like Dr. Patience said, sometimes you don't succeed because you don't have the tools. You're not informed. I mean, the headlines that you give, other than using that in ONPASSIVE, we can use it even in other businesses or whatever. This is loaded. And some of the things I'm sitting here thinking, you know, I probably would never have reasoned it that way. So thank you very much. We really appreciate this. And we are lucky that we have you and we have the videos. Like she said, we're going to listen and pause. And, you know, I started writing notes and then I got stuck and I said, well, I'm going to listen. I'm just going to listen and take what I can take now and then listen to the videos before I read later. Thank you very much. I know everybody is feeling emotional, so we will take a deep breath and then come back because we know we have Dr. Bill here. So write your questions. And then when you feel comfortable to ask, we'll get back to you again during the question and discussion. But at this time, this is my favorite part of the program, the updates. You know, some of us are busy within the week. We barely catch little things here and there. And I usually look forward to this moment to get, you know, to sit back quietly and listen to what has been going on within the week. So nobody else does it best than our Dream Team update team led by Dr. Derek. So over to you, Dr. D.
Hi, peace, blessings, enough, holy, plenty, a lot of love to all our brand ambassadors on this May month. Oh my goodness, Loretta Shadari, that was awesome. Wonderful. Thank you so very much for that mindset. And King Dr. Bill, oh my goodness. Yes, and one of my focus is education and practical education. Not really into algebra. Don't even know what that is for, really and truly. Maybe if you can tell me what that is for or what that should do in the...
All right, Dr. Derek, don't talk about algebra. So that's where some of us get our bread and butter from.
Okay. Mom's the word. Sorry, my apologies. All right. The two other leaders, and all three of us are leaders in this section. The two other leaders in the updates is, of course, Brand Ambassador Queen Miriam Edwards, EA, and King Alfred. Queen Miriam.
Just overflowing with abundance from Brand Ambassador Loretta Shadari and the awesome presentation of Dr. Bill. Of course, as Dr. Patience said, it's going to take time for us to dissect. Just take a deep breath and go through them systematically. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Enough love and peace. Thank you, Dr. Bill, for schooling us every time that you come here. Sister Loretto, thank you for the upliftment every morning. You are taking us places, darling. Keep it up.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much. And most definitely, we are into the updates. But as you know, first of all, we are going to play a video. And that's a video of the Burj Khalifa. So if you haven't seen it as yet, this is what was shown on Saturday, yesterday, the 6th.
See you at the next top.
Mr. Ashmofari, MIT, 3rd May 2023. My name is Ash and I'm your friend. If you don't believe, stay tuned for the next 3 years or decades, for I have a lot to show. You have no clue we were working in Egypt for over a year. And there you go. We have a complete top-notch office.
There are 3 other things that we are working on in Egypt. We have staff working there since 2021, which will be contributing to O Academy, translation for the Arabic world, social media, etc. Since 2023, we are in production and delivery with scalability.
ONPASSIVE has now pulled away from network marketing structure and is now a stable brick and mortar business. Our own KYC product is a major accomplishment. One company we were working with paid €2 for each process. We are finding solutions to disrupt this cost.
Our marketing is working. Our branding is working. Our staffing is working. We are attracting high quality individuals across the world. There are 350,000 new registrations since April 19, which means 175,000 per week average.
Mercy, mercy, mercy. I guess our brand ambassadors did not hear those figures, because only one person looks excited. Say it again, Alfred.
There are 350,000 new registrations since April 19, which means 175,000 per week average.
Mercy. Woo! And we wonder where we're going to get customers. We don't have to wonder where ONPASSIVE is getting customers from for all of us.
3 free products and approaching 1 million free trail using OConnect. As soon as it is stable, a new OMail and ONet will hit the OES with OTracker and ODesk to come. With the stabilization of OConnect, we have other teams working in the background.
The mobile app desk application is being worked on. Within weeks, OConnect is likely to shatter all records. Why? Let's sum it up. One more feature that all other collectively. 2, users friendly. 3, new, fresh. 4, more AI structures than anything we know of now.
The most scalable of any platform, that's number 5, and the only one that can give you unlimited. 6, the highest quality in sound, video. Everything is very well calculated for production. 7, all with much more value and much more affordable.
Users of OConnect do not publish or record it. It's not wise. If kept open to the public, you minimize the impact for others. To want to come in and explore what is it offered, just show and talk enough to entice them to come in and see. Come and try it. That is enough. The serious people will come and see.
Excellent. The serious people will come and see. Some folks published the Egypt YouTube presentation against Ash's request. Not to very bad. It is very bad for the ones who did this. Please stop. Everything we do is copyright, patented, and trademarked. The legal department will intervene. STOP, please stop.
We are strong, bold, and making history. Please do not compare ONPASSIVE to anything you know before. It will be an insult. There is nothing like ONPASSIVE, not a different business model. No. More like a movement, and we take pride of our work.
It's definitely a movement. Just in a matter of days, we will have a new ONET, OMail, stabilization of OConnect, and then one more bomb. There are two major announcements, and you may consider Egypt. Egypt was a bonus bomb. The next two bombs are dependent on the OConnect stability. Then that announcement will come.
A corporate webinar, Founders Only, that will shock and astonish the founders as well as the public. We are getting around 30,000 new users per day, and we are just warming up.
Yep.
My link will soon be activated, and we will give you new websites. OMail will have a new beautiful invitation system. Did you hear that?
Ooh, say that again.
OMail will have a new beautiful invitation system.
One new registration per second is very possible. Don't want to get higher than that. Wouldn't want to finish the global population in 1 year. That's exciting. 2022 was a powerful year for us, and now being multiplied even more in 2023. It is so exciting. I'm getting tongue-tied. I believe concretely ONPASSIVE will impact the world in a mighty way for those who enter the system.
I want to create more millionaires. Did you hear that?
Yes.
I want to create more millionaires, and I would love to have a conversation with them in a couple of years. There is enough wealth to accomplish that. I am glad we took the brave step to make this movement happen. Oh, my life is coming in the future to help people remember past events.
Oh, my life. Ooh, another Burj Khalifa presentation on Saturday. The most return comes from Saturday presentations. The only downside is that Michael Williams can't attend. Red, did you think ONPASSIVE would be where it is today with your first 2 audio releases? Would you?
Ash, not in details, but I knew I had a contribution to give to impact the world. And it comes in more severe than I thought. But it is a great life lesson after learning the system better, inspired by the trials. I say that if it was easy, more people will be doing it. How soon and the details I did not know, but I know things will be an impact and disruptive.
To a degree, things will never come the way you plan. There are things beyond your control. Just consider the outcome is perfect. Do your due diligence. I learned much about people, governments, technology, etc., and realize things can be done cleanly and the right way.
Where you are today is the sum total of where you are today. It is all your own responsibility. ONPASSIVE can help you move forward, but it is up to you to make it happen. The market and history provides more excuses than solutions, but ONPASSIVE can help you solve where you want to go.
I hope this is helping you to become more successful. In a humble way, I believe you can achieve this. Brad, the future is bright. In ONPASSIVE, we appreciate your vision and your leadership. Ash, he said, I have to include our teams in all of this. I couldn't have done it without them.
The teams are working so hard. They are so committed, intelligent, knowledgeable, loyal, and so much more. We do not say no to any idea. It is very fortunate thing for the public. The cultural change within the ONPASSIVE family is very evident in a good way. We will be fine if we work together, and ONPASSIVE will help many to create their own positive revolutions in their endeavors.
Think independently. Your contributions are important. ONPASSIVE wants to help you produce and deliver your dreams. Let ONPASSIVE be your vehicle to accomplish them. Be clear and realistic in what you want and what the company can do for you. Don't expect anyone to dictate your future. You be the driver of your own destiny.
New top.
The new top.
The top. The new top. The new top. Wow. Wow. On top.
Monupul top. That's where we are.
Buckle up, guys. Couple tops.
Hello.
Yeah, it looks Dr.
happening?
Derek may be speaking, but we can hear him.
Unmute yourself, Dr.
Derek,
Derek.
there's no sound.
All right. Thank you, Dream Team. Dr. Derek, your mic is on, but it's not moving.
We are ONPASSIVEineers. We
are
are moving to the top. The next stop. Monupul top.
Okay, I was gonna say, what is that next stop again? Monupul
top.
Manupulta.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
we can get you now.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes.
Yeah, we can
All
hear you
right.
now.
Wonderful. All right. Thank you very much. So yes, and the triple top was when we migrated from the founders to the ONPASSIVE ecosystem November 28, 2022. And we had our own brand spanking new data centers. And then we migrated again. I mean, we went to another top. And of course, that is the quadruple top on January 11, 2023, when we got the naming rights for 10 years, the naming rights for Station 29 in Dubai, UAE. We didn't stop there. We went again to the quintuple top. Connect, strike 1, February 4, strike 2, February 7, the first test, February 17 to 18, February 21, the second test, the release of Connect in 2022, in 22nd April, with 500 participants right out of the box and 90 minutes in our free trial. And then by 25th April, we went to 1,000 with 120 minutes. That's 2 hours of free trial. 14 days free trial ends on Tuesday, May 9. Stay tuned for another Burj Khalifa show on that scenario. Just right next door. And so we left from there, something that Dr. Patience doesn't like, but unfortunately we got to say it is OKYC. And that was on the 21st of March, where we went up to the sextuple top. Oh my goodness, our own OKYC, that is ONPASSIVE, Know Your Customer. And so we have our own, don't have to rely on any third-party KYC because it is free. I mean, no, it's ours. It's ours. All right. Then, getting out of Dr. Patience here, it's the septuple top, and that was the NDCA, the NDCA, non-disclosure confidentiality agreement. And that was 18th of April, 2023.
The future
again, and we are at the octuple top. That is where we are right now. The octuple top, where we now have our offices in Egypt on the 29th of April, 2023. Can you imagine? Take a look at this quick video. Video loss. My apologies.
The future of internet.
Proudly and officially launching in Egypt. The mother of all civilizations. The land of ancient glory and beautiful ruins. Where history started and continues. We are growing bigger and bigger. with the greatest minds. And best talents. From the Nile City Towers in Cairo, the bustling capital of Egypt, by the majestic force of nature, the Nile River, and overseeing the most famous, breathtaking wonder in the world, the pyramids, creating unlimited opportunities for millions of lives, rising to new tops, creating disruptive solutions. Thrive. Join the journey of ONPASSIVE, the future of internet. What is next for ONPASSIVE? See you at the next top.
Wonderful. See you at the next top. The new top. And of course, that would be the non-nupal top, which is the next top that we will be experiencing in ONPASSIVE. And so I want to thank you very much on the behalf of Queen Miriam and of course, King Alfred. We are
ONPASSIVE.
ONPASSIVE. Thank you very much. And that was our updates. Appreciate.
Oh my, nupal top. I can't say it. I have to take some time to practice that. Thank you very much, update team. You are so special. You do it differently, unique. You know, yeah, that's the way the dream team does it. Thank you very much. That was so uplifting. My mouth was just quiet. I had my hand on my mouth as if, I don't know. But anyway, thank you very much. Like I said earlier, sometimes some of us, we're busy during the week. We don't really pay attention to listen. This is one moment that we are held, you know, I am still bound listening, not having anything to distract me. So thank you very much, Dr. Derek, and your team. So I know earlier we had said, you know, everybody should write their questions, take a deep breath. And so that when we have that opportunity to ask the questions, we can now ask them freely and, you know, without getting confused or taken by emotions. So we're going to move forward to our question and discussion. Discussion.
Thank you, Sister I. Before we start with Q&D, I just want to thank all of our viewers that joined us on YouTube today. And this is the time we're going to leave YouTube. We'll be there next week, same time, God willing. And if you have enjoyed your time with us today, please join us next time. I'm going to say bye-bye to our brand ambassador or just guest that were with us in YouTube today. Because question and discussion, we want it to be open so we can ask any question. So there could be proprietary questions.